All right, so this is going to be a overview of what I will be moving to in terms of my E92 335i to hopefully achieve about 650 to 700 wheel horsepower. So for a brief background, my car currently has pure 600 turbos with stock location VRSF 2-inch inlets, VRSF stainless outlets. It has a VRSF 7.5-inch intercooler. It's the Competition, it's not the race. It's fueled with a Helix 3X. It's DI only on E60 blend. And in the tank, it's got a single bucketed Walbro 535. So that's the Hellcat pump without the check valve. The car has never been on a dyno. Just as a background, it's on about 27 pounds, tapering down to about 24. And my wastegate duty cycle is kind of creeping on the unsafe levels, about 80 to 85%. So instead of really pushing them anymore, I really wanted to upgrade the turbos and make a safe 650 to 700 wheel horsepower, or safe, which may be relative depending on who you ask. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to make a video as a walkthrough of all the parts that I'm going to be upgraded on the car to hopefully achieve that goal. So obviously we have a lot of parts here, and I'm just going to walk through what I have and why about what I did. So let's get to it. So starting off with the turbos, I know we've all kind of talked about these in the group. These are the CTS Stage 2 Plus 11 blade turbines, or the GTX style 11 blades. So I personally I have a lot of faith in these turbos. I mean, they haven't really been tested much, but they look to be like a really good design. Stainless manifold, 46 millimeter compressor wheel. I have measured that. Turbine wheel I have not measured, but they do look pretty substantial in size. Turbine housing looks pretty good size. I mean, if you can see there, I mean, it's really pretty close to the compressor housing, but overall, I'm really impressed with the fit and finish in these turbos after getting them. I know only about 1 or 2 people have successfully installed them, but haven't seemed to have maxed them out yet. So I have a lot of hopes that these will really work out well on my car. So this is what I'm changing the Pure 600s out with. Again, mine are about maxed out. My car's never been on a dyno. It's estimated that mine makes around 560 to 570 wheel horsepower. So yeah. Now moving up, that's the install kit for the turbos that's supplied. It does not include the studs or nuts themselves that screw onto the head. So you will need to buy those. And I believe it doesn't include, it does not include the coolant, the stainless coolant line that comes off the block. You do need to replace that gasket, so that's also not included with the install kit that comes with the CTS turbos. That's pretty cheap. Most turbos don't even come with a gasket kit, so you're saving about $150 there, but you do need to buy those 2 gaskets that were just mentioned. Moving over here to the right, this is a stage 3.5 expansion module from PR, so Precision Raceworks. I have their 2.5, their stage 2.5 bucketed pump. This is the expansion module that will take it to a 3.5. So this is an additional Walbro. This is actually a 450. I didn't get another 535 because I really don't need it for my application. A 535 and a 450 is good for, I want to say, somewhere around 900 wheel horsepower to 950. I have no intentions of ever taking the car to that level. So this plus the harness to integrate it here, and then there's the bracket in here, and then the hob switch not pictured here. We'll take this to a stage 3.5 combo. So that's a 535 and a 450. That's more than enough fueling that I'll need. Okay. Secondly, so now let's look at the charge pipe. So on my card, I currently have a VRSF charge pipe with the TurboSmart compact plumb back diverter valves. Now, as you'll see a little later, I'm moving to relocated inlets, and I'll explain why I'm doing that here in a little bit. But with the relocated inlets, I cannot run diverter valves. So as far as I'm concerned, I have not seen it done. It may be doable if you convert, like if you have one if you were to try to tap into these with one line, but there's no, so the diverter valves, they feed into the inlets, and there's no, like, I don't actually know which turbo. I think this is probably the rear turbo. There's nowhere for it to feed into. So I've never seen someone run diverter valves with relocated inlets. So I needed to switch to a blow-off valve. And I was also advised, some people thought that the diverter valves are not capable of flowing that kind of power. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I mean, there's two of them. They're, I think, individually from TurboSmart, they're rated for 400 to 500 horsepower. So sure, it'd be okay, but I don't think it's possible with relocated inlets. So I went with the TurboSmart the RacePort. I know from TurboSmart these are rated for about 1,000 horsepower, 800 to 1,000. So I know this is going to be just fine. So that's what I upgraded to. I'm not a huge fan of the tile, and the HKS sounds like a dying squirrel. So I really don't like the HKS. Now, in terms of this, another thing you need to make sure you do, you need to get it comes standard with I think from VRSF, this like an 1/8 inch tap for, you can't run safely. You need to get a 1/4 inch or a 3/8 inch vacuum reference line. So what I did, pictured here, is from Berger Motorsports. This is a vacuum tap that goes on the throttle body, which gives you a 1/4 inch vacuum line reference, which will properly feed enough vacuum to the TurboSmart blow-off valve. So you can see I already kind of pre-fitted the line here with the feed, if it'll focus. So this 1/4 inch vacuum line is what you need to properly have enough vacuum reference for the TurboSmart to run effectively. So that's a big thing you need to do. So that's why I'm changing over to the blow-off valve instead of the diverter valves. Now, I think the last thing to talk about is the relocated inlets. So again, like I said, I have the 2-inch stock location VRSF inlets. Now I talked to Jimmy at Pure Turbos, and he advised that the stock location inlets were a big choke point from their testing on Pure 600s. I know Rob Beck has talked about how stock location inlets have made 700 horsepower in some of his, I don't want to say the game finishers, but I do believe the game finishers and a couple other turbos in the past. But I trust Pure Turbos a lot, and then what they told me is that they gained about 15 to 20% of wastegate duty cycle headroom by switching to relocated inlets. I personally like the look and cleanness of stock location inlets, but if Pure is going to tell me that these are a better product, disregard the brand. I chose PR because Ken Atkinson at Wedge said he had the most success with these, and he recommended these the most, and I haven't heard anyone say these are collapsing. Obviously, they have the stainless mesh wiring in there, but I think all of them do. ARM Motorsports, VRSF, I think even some of the eBay variants that come with the Viv turbos all have that steel wire in there. So I don't think that's necessarily the problem. I think maybe it's just a fit and finish kind of thing. But these, the Precision Raceworks, I really like. They look really nice. They come with new filters. And on top of that, they come with a relocation kit for the power steering pump and also the coolant reservoir. Now, I know some people say that looks a little hacked up when you install it, but personally, I think if it's installed correctly with patience, it'll look good. I'm not too worried about doing the 335D coolant expansion tank relocation or getting a 335D charge pipe, which costs more. So I just went ahead and went with the relocation kit with a stock style charge pipe. So again, relocated inlets, got all the associated parts with the relocation of the power steering pump, coolant reservoir there, more parts for the relocated inlets, the filters, CTS Stage 2 Plus turbos, charge pipe, TurboSmart, RacePort blow-off valve, and that fuel pump assembly, or the expansion module for my current Stage 2.5 kit. This is really everything that I've got to try to hit that 650 to 700 wheel horsepower mark. Realistically, I'm hoping on E60. The car is going to be fueled by 1R ethanol and Shell 93, but I'm hoping for about 26 to 28 pounds I can make 650 wheel horsepower, and I'd like to have maybe a kill tune and crest to that 700 wheel horsepower mark as long as that duty cycle is in the 75 to 80% max range. I do not want to exceed that, especially given that these CTS chargers are not quite proven 100% yet. There's not many people that have really even got them installed, let alone pushed them to the limits. So definitely don't want to push anything beyond their means. So anyway, this is just the overview of what I've got. So yeah, I'll definitely update you guys when we get the car, when I take the Pure 600s off and maybe do a comparison between the two. The car is going to be worked on by MWorks Garage. I'm in the Ohio Valley area in Cincinnati. MWorks Garage built my car on the Pure 600s. Brian has done fantastic work. I have had nothing but problem-free history with this car under his kind of his build. So I mean, I really can't thank him enough. So definitely look forward to putting these on and seeing what we can do with the car. So also not mention one last thing. I'm on an R888R right now, a 255 4017, maybe a 45. I'm not sure. I'm going to a Mickey Thompson ET Street SS, so it'd be a 275 40 17 on an Apex Arc 8. I already don't even have traction in second gear on the R888s with the Pure 600s, so this is a definite upgrade that is going to be needed. So I even worry I'm going to have traction issues even with the ET Street. So we'll see what it does. So anyway, this is the combo. Just stay tuned and we'll make another video here soon. Thank you.